Hey everyone, what's going on? Snowflarky's Emos here today with another Master Duel deck. Today is my modern take on Dino Rabbit. Big fan of Dino Rabbit as a deck, was a big deal way back in the day. And while Dinos are of course a good deck that's got plenty of great cards and great combos, I said, nah, forget that. I want to play Dinos with some trap cards and some stuns. I want that old style Dino Rabbit. So this is what I've got. Been playing it with Master Duel, and I'm pretty happy with it. So with that, let's get into the card by card. Starting off, we are monsters. We are playing 3 copies of Sabersaurus. Now, of course, Megalo Smasher is the best level 4 dino, but, Megalo Smasher gets plenty of play in my Phantasm Spiral. I love Sabersaur. It looks cool. It's only 100 attack less. It's pretty sweet. We're playing 3 of these. These are our normal monsters that we want to summon off of Rescue Rabbit, and that's why we're playing 3 of it. Rescue Rabbit is, of course, the, namesake of Dino Rabbit. It's simply a monster that says we can banish this card we control, special summon 2 level 4 or lower normal monsters with the same name from the deck, but destroy them during the end phase. So that'll allow us to pull out 2 of these Sabersaurs right from the deck, and of course 2 level 4 dinos can help us make our Lagia and Doka. This whole deck is kind of built around a strategy where you have very powerful back row to stun out your opponent, but the monsters you play are dino monsters, which you can slowly build up to overlay into Dolka and Lagia to further strengthen your board. So that's the idea of pulling the dinosaurs out with Dino Rabbit. Next up, I'm playing 1 copy of Giant Rex. Giant Rex is a pretty cool card to have in this kind of strategy. It's just a 2000 attack 4-star dino, which we can normal summon, but more importantly, if this card is banished once per turn, we can special summon this card, which is pretty sweet. We're going to definitely take advantage of that because, as you see, we're playing 3D Fisher and Macrocosmos. We're taking advantage of the fact that Dino Rabbit strategy doesn't really need the graveyard, and we're going to banish other cards in the graveyard, which is very strong against a lot of decks, and will just give us more Giant Rexes, which we can continually use to make Lagia and Dolka. Works really well, too, because when you detach Giant Rex from material and you have either Macro or Deep Fisher up, it'll get banished again and summon itself out. So it helps you go into multiple of these for sure. Next, I'm playing 3 copies of Soleing Aviraptor. Pretty good card. This card is normal or special summon. You can take a dinosaur type monster from your deck, either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. This does include himself, so sometimes it's nice to go Aviraptor into Aviraptor, or we can go into the card we're mostly going to be grabbing off of it, Flower Dino. This is a cool little card that works for this type of strategy pretty well. Can't be normal summoned or set. It has to be special summoned by its own effect. And basically that effect is if a trap card or effect or your opponent activates a spell card or effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target 3 banished spells and traps, place them on the bottom of the deck in any order, and then draw 1 card. So what's nice about this card is we can use Flower Dino to summon out a monster on our opponent's turn, which is pretty nice. As you'll see, we're playing cards like Summon Limit and whatnot that are designed to really slow the game down. So if we can slow the game down to where they can't combo off, then we can summon our Flower Dino for free, and it's not destroyed, and at least leaving one of those dinos on the field means we can likely normal summon another one, which will give us any Volzor play, which is pretty sweet. And that is it for the monsters. Next, going into our spell cards, I'm playing 3 Pot of Extravagance. Extra card advantage certainly helps in this deck. We can max out Lagia and Dolka, which are the 2 Xyzs that we're going to main, so that we normally have 1 or 2 left over to make. And in exchange, we just draw 2 cards for banishing 6 extra deck cards face down. No big deal. Next, we're playing 3 D Fisher. D Fisher, definitely one of our win cons. Any monster sent to the graveyard is banished instead. We're not bringing monsters from the graveyard. We want to send Giant Rex to the banish zone. So D Fisher is a natural 3 of because it will do so much damage to a lot of opposing decks. And lastly, I'm playing 1 Xyz Import. Pretty cool quick play spell that says target an Xyz monster you control and 1 monster your opponent controls with less attack or less with attack less than or equal to it. Attach that opponent's monster to your monster as Xyz material. This works super well with Dolka, who has a non-once per turn effect to detach a material to negate a monster effect. So if you can just snatch up an opponent's monster, you get an extra material for Dolka, an extra monster effect negate, and that is pretty sweet. That is it for the spell cards. Next up, trap card lineup. There's a lot of them here. Playing 1 Ring of Destruction, just a nice 1 of to have a 1 card spot removal for a monster on the field. And not only is it spot removal, but it's also one that will burn the opponent for the attack of the monster we destroy with it, which is nice. That burn damage adds up because we need to close this game out really quick before the opponent can draw the outs to our floodgates that are stopping them from playing. Next, I'm playing 2 copies of Storming Mirror Force. Given that this is a little different than the old Dino Rabbit list, and it's not necessarily built around getting 2 dinos out each turn, but kind of getting 1 dino out each turn and then 1 on your opponent's turn. Storming Mirror Force is just nice to protect some of our low level dinosaurs. It's also very nice because if we have Summon Limit active and then draw Rescue Rabbit later and can activate it, it's important that we can't use Rescue Rabbit and then the dinosaurs and then XZ while Summon Limit's on the field. So we're going to need to protect Rescue Rabbit for 1 turn. Now hopefully we open with Rescue Rabbit so we don't have to worry about that. But I digress, doesn't always happen and comes in handy. Next, we're playing 3 Lost Wind. Pretty handy card. Target a face-up special summon monster, negate its effects, and its original attack is halved. I find this card pretty useful because Lagia and Dolka don't have a ton of attack, only 23 and 24, making 2400 the highest attack we're going to get in this deck. So having this card that can, have the attack of special summon monsters is very important so that we can get over them. Next, I'm playing 3 Heavy Storm Duster, mostly a Master Duel pick because there's a lot more backrow decks in Master Duel, and Heavy Storm Duster is just a trap card that can destroy 2 spells or traps, which gets us card advantage, which is pretty sweet to have. Next, I have 3 Evenly Matched, just a little copium in here in case I lose the die roll. Maybe I can see if I get evenly matched and they can build a board that I can evenly match, then I can go to town. Not bad. 3 Solemn Judgment. I really love Solemn Judgment in this deck. Works well with Lagia because then we just have 2 Omni Negates. Very important for protecting our floodgates and just saying no to whatever is going to out our board at the time. Playing 1 copy of Huge Revolution is over. This is just a cool counter trap that prevents board wipes, which this deck is very weak to. Whether they're going to wipe all our back row with Lightning Storm or Harpy's Feather Duster, or going to try to Raigeki our dinosaurs after we spent Lagia. Just a good one-of option to have. Pretty good. Next, I'm playing 1 copy of Macrocosmos. Would consider bumping this up, but I'd have to craft more, and having macro with the Fisher is a bit redundant. But basically, it's a trap card that says any card sent to the graveyard is banished instead. Very powerful. And last, I'm playing 3 Summon Limit. Very important for this deck to have Summon Limit because we have to slow the game down to our pace if we want our strategy to succeed, and Summon Limit just does that. Neither player can summon more than 2 times per turn. Negated summons count towards this limit. Negated card effects that would summon do not count. So that's pretty important because, if we limit our opponent to 2 summons, it becomes a lot harder to deal with our board, especially when they can't combo off, and that is very important. Now, it does interfere with the ability to play Dino Rabbit, but the necessity of summon limit to win a lot of games is worth doing that. If you don't open up Rabbit, you can just set Rabbit and or just summon Rabbit and hold out for another turn. So that is it for the main deck. Next, going into our extra deck, only 2 real cards to talk about here. That's the 3 of Evolzor Lagia, which is a rank 4 XZs that require 2 level 4 dinosaur type monsters. When a monster would be normal or special summon or a spell or trap card is activated, detach 2 materials, negate the summoner activation, and if you do, destroy it. So that's nice. That's basically Solemn Judgment on a monster, and any 2 dinosaurs can make it. So that's pretty nice because we already have a lot of powerful cards that are stopping our opponent from playing, and being able to go into a Lagia once we have those means that we have a way to protect it and can answer the few outs that our opponent will have. Next, of course, is 3 of Evolzor Dolka, also very good, 2300 attack, 2 level 4 dinosaurs. When another monster's effect is activated, quick effect, you can attach a material, negate the activation if you do destroy it. Awesome card because that is not a once per turn effect, so making Dolka gives us 2 monster effect negates, and of course works very well with XZ's import. These are definitely 2 that we're making. We want to max out on them so that we keep more copies of them off of Pot of Extravagance. For the rest of the deck, I'd say play your best kind of rank 4 stuff. I haven't invested a lot of gems into making good rank 4 stuff. If you got Baguska, that's good. If you got Tornado Dragon, that's good. So I just threw some stuff I got in here right there, and that is it for the extra deck. So here's a replay of the deck in action. I'm going first here, and not a great hand here. Macro is pretty nice, Strike is nice, but XZ's import is dead, and Giant Rex, I'd have to hope this macro does a lot of work for me. So I'm going to go first, summon Giant Rex, set my 2 face downs. My opponent is going to go. They are going to play Albion the Shrouded. Now this is kind of where I made a mistake because I didn't play macro off the rip, so they did get to send Branded Banishment to the graveyard instead of the banish zone, But macro now will allow me to, just start sending everything to the banish zone. They're going to max C here, which, not, not worried about. It's their turn. Not sure why they would do that. Guess they just felt like it was going to be worthless. So they set a card. They're playing their branded fusion. They're banishing their guys. They summon Albion. I find this to be a good point here, where when Albion activates, I can hit Solemn Strike. And what's nice is all the materials from Branded Fusion are already in the banish zone, so that's pretty good. Well, they're going to set one card and pass the turn. Alright, that's what I wanted to do. And now it is my turn here. I'm just going to simply attack their face down Allen of Albaz they sent. And it, of course, is going to the banish zone, so they're not getting it back. I got Heavy Storm Duster, XYZ import, nothing good, just some bluffs. They pass the turn. They don't seem to have much they can do right here, so I am going to play Heavy Storm Duster. I'm going to special summon Flower Dino. Flower Dino is up. I can play Summon Limit. I can make an Evolzor Lagia because I see they're not doing much, so I figure if I have the just one card Omni Negate answer, that's pretty good. And of course, Summon Limit, maybe not the best in this matchup because, I can still get hosed by a Branded Fusion. They're just setting cards. Nothing really they're doing here. Max C ain't doing them very hot because I'm not special summoning a ton. Got another Heavy Storm Duster. Not too helpful in this matchup, but, there's going to be some things they set. So, of course, they're going to go into Ecclesia here. Fallen of Albaz is going out. I wait till Fallen of Albaz activates his effect so I can chain Summon Limit and basically make this non-existent. To not fusion summon out anything, they're going to set another card. I get a Fossil Dig, which is nice to have. I think I ended up cutting Fossil Dig just because it was too many cards. But Soleating Aviraptor here can grab me a Flower Dino so that I can summon it. And of course, Soleating Aviraptor will poke. And we pass to our opponent's turn. And of course, they give up 2 cards. Laggy is still ready to go. Annoying Floodgates. That's basically kind of the gist of it. You got powerful Floodgates, and you gradually build up a board of dinosaur monsters that lead into the good Evolzors and protect your board state. So that of course is it for the Dino Rabbit deck profile. It's just a very fun deck to pick up and play if I want a stun style strategy in lower ranked. Definitely don't recommend trying anything like this if you're really trying to climb the ladder. You won't get higher, you won't get out of gold with this. But it's very fun. Lets me play a classic Dino Rabbit strategy. It's kind of high rolly. You got to have the right cards sometimes. But if you do, you can have that classic Dino Rabbit goodness. So I appreciate you all checking out the deck profile. I'll catch you in the next one.